Hey guys, new video here. First big patch that's dropped in PoE Sanctum League. Let's keep this video super short and get through all the important things that you might want to know if you can't read. So there's 70 unique relics. These drop by killing the final form of Lycia. It's this girl that's on the screen right now. Sorry for spoilers if you haven't gotten that far. These relics go into your relic locker. They're kind of just like the magical ones. They're permanent, but they are destroyed when the run ends. So if you fail, you don't get another chance with the same relic. You have to find that relic again, and then you get to attempt it again. Think of them as kind of like challenge runs for the Sanctum to make them a lot harder, depending on your build. You do have to solo self-find these, so you can't like buy these off trade from someone else or have someone else give them to you. They are found by killing Lycia's final form at the end. Once again, same girl that you see in the video here at the end of the 4th floor, and then you have a pretty high chance of dropping them. When I've done it, I've dropped a unique relic every single time I've killed her, and other people are reporting like pretty close to 100% drop rate for these relics. Now let's just go over all of them really quickly. First one is like kind of a tie-in with the ring that drops. It's called the original scripture. That's the relic, and the original sin is the ring. So these two go hand in hand. It's essentially a no-hit run that you have to do in the Sanctum. You have no energy shield, so no inspiration for your resolve, and your max resolve is 1. Okay, so things like the silver descry, that boon might help because it prevents 1 hit per room. And if you can make it to the end, then you get this nice ring. It's a 100% drop if you make it to the end without getting hit. And this could be a new chase item, right? It turns all LE damage into chalice damage, and it sets like nearby resist to 0 for, right? Pretty pog. Could be some build enabling stuff going on. We'll see later in the league. Then next is the Hour of Divinity. So this one is one of the easier relics to complete. I've done a couple of these already, and what it is you can't have any boons, but all of your relics still work. So you can go in with your magic relics, and it makes the run super easy. If you want to, you can easily maneuver like no affliction rooms, so you have no boons, but you also have no afflictions. Or if you have like, inspiration upon gaining affliction relics, which are really easy to get now, you can equip those and you have an easy time as well, right? Things to avoid are like the vendors, because vendors sell boons usually, and since you can't have boons, you can't really have anything to use your coins on. And then also the handshake rooms, right? The cursed deals rooms. Those are pretty bad too, because you're basically gaining afflictions for boons, but once again, you can't have boons, so you're just gonna get the affliction. So you can skip those and just go for either like non-consequential rooms like fountains and stuff, or you can just go for reward rooms and get the rewards at the end. Okay, this one I'll definitely run every time I get it, because it's 3 sanctified relic drops on killing Lycia's final form. Super easy fight, and more sanctified relics means like more chances that you get like a double affix relic that actually really impacts your build or a future build. The next unique is the night lamp. So I think this one sucks the most, because the main reward of floor 3 and 4 is divines, right? And possibly a mirror if you're super lucky, like you've seen on Reddit. But like not knowing what the rooms are make it like really hard to get that, like maybe 1 or 2 rooms that are on floor 3 and 4 that have a divine or a mirror, some other good rewards, right? And then also you can't like see in the rooms, you can't see the affliction. So like getting things early on, like not getting coins, like 40% reduced movement speed, there's a lot of stuff that go wrong early on when you can't see rooms, right? And it just leads to really like not a fun run. So like the reward is you get 2 additional relics. Okay, like sure, but I don't think it's worth not being able to see the run, because remember, it takes 32 maps to make one of these full sanctums, and like kind of throwing that away on like this RNG isn't worth it to me. So I think this is probably the weakest unique relic out there. The next one is the broken censer. Now this one could be pretty amazing for money making, because it gives you a keystone for free on your sanctified relic, right? You add it onto the relic, and then now you have that keystone, right? Saves you skill points, could be really powerful for builds that are on the opposite side of the skill tree. Now here are the list of the keystones that you can currently get. They shared it in the item filter post. The challenge is not too hard, because although you can have inspiration, you can't just put on like max resolve relics or gain max resolve relics, and then those just work fine. You might have to be a little more careful, because you won't have like these, how everyone has like 1,000 inspiration and stuff, but you will have enough resolve to make it through, no problem, right? And once again, the final boss fight is so easy that it won't be a big deal, even if you get there with low resolve. Next relic is the second sacrament. This one's also potential moneymaker if the fight isn't, and also the fight isn't as hard as it looks based on reading the relic, because she does double damage, but her attacks are very slow and they're really well telegraphed, right? Like the beam, the slam, and the maze. They're the only things that can like kind of end your run, and they're all super easy to dodge. So you might see a few more maze patterns, because it's like a huge reduction, kind of like the Uber fights. But here's what the Balance of Terror will roll. It's basically a unique jewel, and it picks 3 of these stats that you see here on the screen, right? So when I look at this and I read these affixes, but what I think is like, okay, things like you get free Combs Roots, right? Can't be slowed below action speed. Free massive physical as extra up there. Free cooldown recovery. This is all on one single jewel. And some of the stuff you can't like get elsewhere in the game. So this could be pretty crazy, and we'll see how the prices are for these jewels. This one, if you can do the second sacrament relic, I would absolutely do it, and then maybe hold on to it for a little bit until people find out good builds to use with like the perfect combination of Balance of Terror. Next one is First Crust, and this one's actually my personal favorite because I think it's like the most roguelite of them all, right? So you basically convert all of your coins that you save up into either experience, uniques, or relics, right? So someone from my stream today, so they had about 5,000 coins at the end, and they got 13 different magic relics, which is kind of crazy because like the more relics you find, it makes your Sanctum runs way more rewarding in the future, both in terms of fun and in terms of money, because you know, there's a lot of these like affixes that are amazing. Like Merchant has 2 additional options, and then there's also things like see 2 rooms ahead that can make you actually get a lot more money. For example, let's say that like you have a bunch of Merchant has additional options, right? Then it's much more likely that you'll offer something like the All-Seeing Eye, which lets you see if there's literally like, you know, divines or mirrors on any floor. So this just like leads to more juice in the future, which I really like. So I think that this is great. Also, another thing is there's like 4 different versions of this, or 3 different versions of this. So you can get experience, which isn't that exciting, but you know, in Lake of Calandra, the Paradise Tile was pretty exciting, right, for XP. So maybe it's a speed leveling method. Another thing is like, if you get the one that gives you uniques, well, if you get the about the same amount of uniques per coins that you did with the relics, well, then, you know, maybe this is if weighted properly, it could be a deterministic way to get some nice tier 0 items, right? So I'm looking at like leather belts, heavy belts dropping all the time. That could be pretty sick. And then also, well, let's hear our boons that might help you with this, because anything that gives you more coins will be good, okay? Especially things like the golden trophy, because what that does is like, if you don't buy anything from Divinium, all the gold you have, every single room will be compounded by 10%, right? 10% interest basically on every single room completion. So, you know, it's very easy on the first floor to get like more than 1,000 coins. So then you start getting 100, then 1,100, or sorry, 100, then 110, then, you know, and so on and so forth, every single room. Now, if you pair this with relics, which also give coins per room, right? There are relics that get up to like, I think 20 coins on room completion. That's also pretty crazy. Stack up your stash with that. Also get an enchanted urn if you can. It's a boon in which gives you 30% bonus on your relics. See, all these things added up with the boons that you see on the screen here could give you a crazy amount, and I can easily see someone with a really good run getting over 10,000 coins and then just dropping a lot of stuff from killing the final boss, right? This one is the most fun for me, and I'm really looking forward to running this one. Okay, some other small news, good and bad. One really bad thing that we noticed as the patch went live is that there's a patch note that says party members can now store a Sanctum room for later when the map owner runs their Sanctum room for the area. Now, you might think, wow, I can just like invite people in, we can do rotas, things like that. Well, not actually, because when you go into someone's map and then they go into the suction, right? And they touch the thing and then they store theirs, you don't actually get it when they store it. They have to run their room in order for you to get a storage, right? So you'd have to go into someone's map, they'd have to go in, they had to run the room, and no one's going to invite you in for that because nobody plays it like they do a map, they run into the Sanctum room and they do one room at a time. No, everyone just saves 8 and then runs 8 at a time. So this kind of, what we thought would initially be like a way to buy rooms from people is not actually that smooth, and it's kind of scuffed. You're way better off speedrunning maps on your own. To store up these Sanctum rooms, okay? Something that is kind of cool though is they fixed the resolve bar, so now when you get hit in the Sanctum, it'll flash like black and red if you do get hit, so you'll see your resolve go down. Well, you don't need to look at the number anymore. It just like has a visual cue. Really, really nice for things when you need to know if you're getting hit by something or not, right? Because the visual clarity is kind of a mess in there sometimes. Another thing, there's a display added which shows afflictions being removed or boons being removed. So a lot of the handshake rooms where you're doing an accursed deal, you know, like I'll post like an image up here of like one of the runs I had where I have like a crap ton of boons and afflictions, and if you're gonna remove one of each or you're gonna gain one of each, it's kind of like hard to know what you're gaining, right? Even though they're at the end, but especially for the removals, right? So you'll be able to see that better, and you'll see like, oh man, what if it removes my hair's foot, and what if it like removes like a affliction that was actually like didn't do anything, right? You'd be kind of sad, or you'll be glad that it removed the correct one. Next, Lycia's endgame fight got nerfed. So the red lightning maze used to be kind of fast and you have a slow character. It could have been kind of confusing the first couple times, or if you had like bad damage or something. So now the waves are further spaced apart and they're way easier to dodge. So overall nerf to the endgame fight, which is great because more people get to see the end of the fight and not worry about risking their rewards. Another thing that's kind of pog is the Infernum room in floor 3 and above. I believe. The skulls used to be like the double lasers, but they were positioned in a way that made it kind of annoying. But now the skulls pretty much just fire in a circle. So what you're gonna do is just run around in a circle, and now the beams pretty much can't hit you at all. It's really nice and makes that room a lot more annoying. So next time you're in the Infernum, pay attention to that. You can also, there's a place I believe where you can like flame dash through the wall if you need to. So that's also pretty cool as well. Okay, the next thing that's super pog, Huck. So the line in the patch that says Huck now brings along his rogue equipment when accompanying you in maps. And this is cool because there is an Alice notable in which touching your first smuggler's catchy, Huck joins you for the whole map. And basically he gives you a 90-second onslaught buff, but after that's gone, you still have your rogue gear on him, right? So what that means is you can get one of these free auras, okay? It's kind of insane because you can also, like, if you have like a cheap Watcher's Eye, right, and you have one of these auras, you could technically tag on one of these mods that come from the auras. For example, Grace has like 15% movement speed, right? Hatred, you have like crit, but I mean, that's one's pretty expensive. But you can see the idea here of tagging on a free mod onto a like a 3-mod Watcher's Eye, and then you get a little bit extra benefit when Huck is around, right? Plus the benefit of this aura. So I chose to go with haste just because it feels good to attack, cast, and move a little bit faster. It's almost always up. He does teleport to you if you get too far, and his move speed is pretty damn good. To get my Huck up to level 3 to equip this stuff, it only took about 10 minutes. I ran like probably like 2 or 3 contracts, and then he was done. And then after he gets level 3, what I did is I bought a level 3 arrowhead because the arrowhead has the aura on it, and then you just kind of craft it on. You can alt spam it on. It's super easy. A lot of the ones on the traits are like really inflated in price, so I wouldn't buy those. I'll just alt spam because alts are pretty much free right now. Also, there is a sextant that guarantees a smuggler's catchy, right, in every map, so it's pretty easy to get early on. Overall, not like a huge money maker, but just like fun to have this guy around giving you a free aura, okay? Another thing you can see is like on the arrowheads, you can also get a something called flash charges gained. So if you're not using a mage blood, you can get more flash charges alongside the aura, so kind of cool. Another thing is that I noticed that was kind of cool is they said significantly increased the experience gained from killing metamorph monsters. Now this is kind of cool because if depending on how much they increased it, right, you have a node on the tree that says 1,000% increased EXP per 10% of the vat filled. So you fill the whole vat with the boss organ. That's 10,000% more XP. And so this 10,000% more XP plus the significantly increased XP. Well, I wonder, like at level 98, 99, I really wonder how much XP that'll give you for killing a Metamorph. And especially, you can actually assemble most of them, right? You can assemble most of the Metamorphs twice if you go speccing into Metamorph. So we'll test that out and later on and see how that is. But it's kind of exciting, I guess. Okay, another little small thing is like if you use Whale Venom Gyre, Whale Volcanic Fissure, or Whale Blade Flurry, or Whale Caustic Arrow, or Whale Molten Strike, a lot of times you would cast it and then you do another animation that would cancel it. Now that can't happen anymore. When you cast it, you will get the damage to go out. So I guess this is technically free damage if this issue is happening to anybody, right? You have too much APM. And then the last thing I want to mention is there's a lot of Blight changes. So I'm going to put them up on the screen, right? I don't want to read all this, but basically, I guess Blight was maybe not performing as well, or maybe they didn't see enough people running Blight, right? Because the downside of Blight is that you can't really be in maps, right? You are running Blighted Maps, which you don't get the league mechanic. You don't get the altars, which is huge. Like these altars are insane. And they're so good that if you can't do them, you're losing a lot of money. So I guess the idea is to increase the rewards on Blight so that when you miss out on altars and on the league mechanic, well, let's be honest, the league mechanic kind of sucks in terms of rewards. But if you miss out on altars and like the map farming, then you at least get some like compensation reward, right? The thing that I noticed that's kind of cool is the duration one. So teal oils, they give you an extra 10 seconds off the map timer. So originally Blight maps are 5 minutes. If you were to use the teal oils before, 2.5 minutes, sorry, a little over, like I think it's like 3 minutes or something. And now if you use the teal oils, there's 2.5 minutes. So 30 seconds isn't much, but on each Blighted map, when it's that short, 2.5 minute Blighted maps, the rewards are pretty crazy for the cost of the red Blighted maps. Like you can look on trade right now, and Blighted maps are hella cheap because like no one's running them. The rewards are kind of like, it's kind of like a worse simulacrum situation where like the price of the simulacrum at like 35C is like so small compared to like how much you make if you can do 30 waves, right? So it's like something to look into if you really like Blight, but for most of us, playing Blight is like playing standard, so it won't be that big a deal. But you can read the changes and maybe test out some stuff if you want. So that's all the news for today, and thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys are having fun in Sanctumly. I am. I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait to run more of these unique relics. Okay, thanks for watching my video, guys. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.